Happy Advent, and as we prepare for the fourth Sunday of Advent, thanks for checking out this preview of music to be offered in worship at Third Church on Sunday, December 19th. This week, much of the attention will be focused on Mary, Mother of Jesus, in both Scripture and in music. Music for the day will span more than 1,000 years, including the hymn O Come, Emmanuel, which has its roots in the 9th century O antiphons, which are chants giving different titles to Christ for each of the 7 days leading up to Christmas. These were sung at Vespers at the end of the day in conjunction with the Magnificat, or Mary's Song. We'll also be hearing the Magnificat, both sung and read, as it's one of the scripture lessons for the day. The chancel choir will sing a glorious setting of it as the first anthem, composed in 1906 by Sir Charles Villiers Stanford. The Irish-born Stanford was one of the leading composers in Great Britain in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and also was the teacher of such great composers as Gustav Holst and Ralph vaughan Williams. The text of the Magnificat comes from the Gospel of Luke and is Mary's hymn of praise in response to her cousin Elizabeth's greeting and blessing after the angel Gabriel had visited Mary and she found she was pregnant. Here's a recording of the Magnificat in C by Stanford from several years ago when our choir was joined at Third by the choirs from Asbury First United Methodist Church and the Lutheran Church of the Incarnate Word. Bill Weinert is conducting, and I'm playing the organ. back in time to the Renaissance, the choral scholars will offer what I think is among the top 5 or 6 most beautiful settings of Ave Maria, the text which is based on Elizabeth's blessing of Mary. The setting that they'll sing is by Robert Parsons, an English composer who lived in the mid-16th century and who was active during the reigns of King Edward VI, Queen Mary I, and Queen Elizabeth I. It's an exquisite piece, which I think you will find both beautiful and meaningful. Returning to the 20th century, we'll enjoy 2 pieces. The opening hymn is People Look East, which dates from 1928. Like O Come, Emmanuel, it gives multiple titles or attributes to Jesus. These appear in the last line of each stanza. Love, the guest is on the way, then love the rose, love the bird, love the star, and finally, love the Lord is on the way. The melody is a lilting French folk tune adapted to this poem by Eleanor Fargion. It's a delight to hear and to sing. Finally, for the postlude, I'll play a dazzling toccata on Veni Emmanuel by Adolphus Hailstork, one of the leading African-American composers of our day. We can be proud to note that he was born in Rochester in 1941, spent most of his childhood in Albany, and subsequently studied at Howard University, the Manhattan School of Music, and Michigan State University. He also studied at the American Institute at Fontainebleau, France, where his teacher was the renowned Nadia Boulanger, who also taught such notables as Leonard Bernstein and Aaron Copland, among many others. Adolphus Hailstork has been professor of music and composer in residence for a long time at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. He composed this toccata for organ there in 1983. In it, we hear fragments of the tune embedded in a musical texture of perpetual motion. The piece has a somewhat jazzy feel as it's written in 5/8 time, a common jazz meter. But that uneven meter also gives it an unsettling quality, which I interpret almost as a representation of the unsettled nature of the world awaiting the coming of Christ, and honestly, of the unsettled nature of the world today. Give a listen to this extraordinary piece as we mark the last few days before the great celebration of Christmas. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in church, either in person or online. And if I don't see you, have a blessed Christmas and a wonderful New Year. And don't forget to tune in on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. on Sunday, the December 19th, on our YouTube channel to see the live stream Third Arts concert, Deck the Halls. It'll feature our choral scholars, handbell player Gene Conover, James Keeley, and I sharing pieces both sacred and secular, jaunty and reflective, as well as a couple of opportunities to join in singing on a couple of carols. Sunday afternoon at 3. Until next time.